let everybody in Texas know about the reality of the dangers of open border policies. The people around the table I'll be introducing shortly, but let me just start by telling you this. A lot of people want to know, and I want to tell them exactly what we're doing on the border and why we are doing it. Texas is stepping up to do more than what any state has ever done to secure our border. We're having to do this because the Biden administration is doing less than any presidential administration I've ever seen to do the fundamental job of the United States to secure our border. Texas has already allocated, just for the next 2 years, more than $3 billion for the state to step up and secure the border. Part of that money is being used to fund 10,000 National Guard who are guarding the border as we gather for this press conference here right now. On top of that, we have more than 1,000 Texas Department of Public Safety officers who also are not only guarding the border, but the National Guard working with DPS, they are making arrests of people coming across the border. We don't use the catch and release program. We arrest and jail people coming across the border committing crimes in our state. To achieve that goal, we converted 2 prisons into state jails so that we would have the jail beds available to make sure that we would be able to arrest and jail people coming across the border illegally. On top of all that, Texas is now building our own border wall to better secure our state, to protect our sovereignty, and to help make our communities safer. Operation Lone Star is the name given to this operation conducted by the state of Texas to secure the border. Operation Lone Star has led to 11,000 criminal arrests and almost 9,000 felony charges for things like smuggling and human trafficking, bringing drugs across the border. We've also used this operation to crack down on other crimes that are occurring border-related. One is to crack down on the deadly, dangerous drug of fentanyl that largely is manufactured in China and brought across the Mexican border. Texas law enforcement alone over the course of the past year has seen more fentanyl that is needed to kill every man, woman, and child in Texas, California, New York, Illinois, and Florida combined. More than enough to kill more than 220 million Americans. It is deadly and it is dangerous, and Texas is working to stop it being imported into our state. On top of that, we have taken other action to address the proliferation of crimes that have led to the unfortunate reality that we do have angel families. One that we passed several sessions ago is a state law that bans any sanctuary city in the state of Texas that would otherwise protect illegal immigrants in those cities. Another that we passed this last session, we took a giant step toward making our community safer, in particular the community of Harris County, Texas, by passing bail reform. It was needed in Harris County more than any other county because Harris County is letting out of jail, sometimes on personal recognizance bond alone, people who are dangerous criminals who go out onto the street and harm or even kill other people or sexually assault somebody. And sometimes those people could be those who are here illegally and arrested and let back out on the street. We cannot allow dangerous criminals back out on the street. Importantly, we were able to pass bail reform. To have it be fully effective, we also need to pass a constitutional amendment that amends our Constitution to make our bail laws stronger. That constitutional amendment was voted on in the regular session as well as in a special session, and the only reason why it did not pass is because every time it was up for a vote, the Democrats voted against it. We're going to be putting that up for a vote again in this next session so that we will have the laws in place that will prevent these radical leftist judges from letting people out of jail back onto the streets, making our streets more dangerous. Let me share with you just a few stories that capture why we are working so hard. On November the 10th, 2021, this past November, the Texas Department of Public Safety intercepted a raft of 8 illegal immigrants. One of them had been previously deported for felony sexual assault and was trying to get back into Texas. And DPS was able to keep him out and arrest him. On October 14th of 2021, the Texas Department of Public Safety apprehended a group of illegal aliens near Alpine, Texas. One was convicted of aggravated criminal sexual assault of a child, and now back in trying to perhaps harm somebody else. Because of DPS, because of what we have down on the border, that person was arrested. On February the 9th, just over a week ago, the Texas Department of Public Safety arrested a member of the Gulf Cartel near Los Fresnos, arrested for drug trafficking and possession of currency illegally. And then on January the 26th, DPS, the Texas Department of Public Safety, helped arrest an illegal immigrant in Valverde County who was wanted on capital murder charges in the fatal shooting of a Harris County constable. This is what the Texas Department of Public Safety and the National Guard face and deal with every single day, trying to get these dangerous criminals coming across the border off the streets and behind bars where they belong. Texas is doing everything we can to keep these dangerous criminals out of our country, and if they come here, put them behind bars. Unfortunately, lives are being lost and communities are being endangered because of these open border policies that are now imposed from Washington, D.C. Just a few stories of illegal immigrants who killed people in the United States. Last November, a 24-year-old illegal alien from Honduras brutally killed a 19-year-old woman when he was driving drunk in Houston. The Biden administration an illegal immigrant was charged killing a Houston police sergeant. But was never deported. Bottom line is open border policies have deadly consequences in the state of Texas. That to better secure our border. Now, strong on law enforcement, and that is our host today, Sheriff Henderson.
Thank you, Governor, and appreciate you being here. Welcome back to Montgomery County. And I also want to thank our Angel families that are here today that took time out of your busy lives to be with us and to share your stories. Just amazing, and we've learned so much from you, and so sorry for the losses that you've all suffered. We in Montgomery County are proud to work with your leadership and being the first to call, to receive the call whenever you put out the statewide request for detention services for Operation Lone Star. We're proud to be the first agency that responded to the border. We helped set up those processes. We created the booking process, the medical screening processes, all of the functions that it took. And we're so proud to be given the opportunity to help with this crisis. We're also a proud 287G supporter. So we work constantly with federal agencies, and ICE has always been one of those. And so we're proud to, whenever we arrest anyone in Montgomery County, we work with the District Attorney's Office, and we have a force multiplier approach where we're so much stronger together. And District Attorney Ligon is here with me today, and he's one of those that helps make that connection so we can get those prison sentences that are so deserving of those criminals in our community. But in 287G, we're able to put detainers on our illegal immigrants that are arrested and introduced in the criminal justice system. So after those local charges are disposed of, then the federal government then finally has their opportunity to do what they're supposed to do and return those illegal immigrants to their country of origin. And it's your leadership, Governor, that has gotten us to this point. And I'm so proud to work with you every day. Now, I would love to have our district attorney say a few words, if you don't mind.
Please.
In Texas, there's an expression, justice delayed is justice denied. And what I think that the rest of the county and the rest of the community and the rest of the country forgets is when the border is porous and people are able to escape justice. Because whether they're committing a crime in Montgomery County or Harris County or any other county, the state or the country that they flee to is Mexico. And so what a lot of people don't recognize is, hey, you're trying to stop illegal aliens from coming to Texas. But in Montgomery County, we're trying to stop you from fleeing our justice in Montgomery County. And time again, these gentlemen from the Montgomery County Sheriff's Department under the direction of Sheriff Henderson or under the direction of Texas Department of Public Safety, they're catching or they are detecting a crime, a person flees. And when this border is porous, the thing that the national media forgets is if it's porous, that means it goes both ways. So y'all think we're trying to stop illegal aliens from coming here, but I'm trying to stop illegal aliens from fleeing the justice that in Montgomery County they're going to get. We have over a dozen Mexican nationals that have fled justice in Montgomery County that we have not been able to apprehend. And yet every year after year, our resources and our ability to catch those criminals in Mexico and Guatemala, it diminishes every year because the federal administration under President Biden is just actually deficient. It endangers lives in the state of Texas, and justice delayed in Montgomery County is justice denied. And with the help of Governor Abbott and the Texas legislature, we're hoping that that changes.
Thank you. And y'all have great, strong law enforcement here. I want to thank all these law enforcement officers gathered with us today, as well as thank Colonel Dwight Mathis from the Texas Department of Public Safety, who is here with us. Listen, I want to now turn things over to the Angel families who are with us and let Texas and America know the dangers and the tragedies caused by open border policies. First is Marie Vega.
Good afternoon. Like the governor says, we're here with Angel families.
I'm sorry, Marie. Can I get you to pull that microphone closer to you?
Absolutely. Good afternoon, everyone. Like the governor says, we're here with Angel families. All three of us have, or four of us, and not just us four, but countless families have lost a loved one to illegal alien crime. Our mission right now is to make sure that this doesn't happen to you or other families, you know, because this is traumatic. This lives with you for the rest of your life. Your loved one is not here. Someone that, and from meeting all these families, one thing I've noticed is that every one of our loved ones was a productive individual of the community. These were not kids that were doing wrong. They weren't on the wrong side of the law. These were actually productive human beings, and their lives were robbed by an illegal alien. And this is the reason for us speaking out, because we want our borders secured, we want our immigration laws enforced, and our border wall to go up. Go ahead.
If you feel comfortable, you can share the story about what happened.
Okay, I'm
And show the
actually,
picture too.
I'm actually the mother of Marine, and I say that with pride, and Border Patrol Agent Javier Harvey Vega Jr. Harvey had a love for his country. He had a love for family. He loved doing his job, and he's not here because of failed immigration policies. And, you know, we have Brandon and Kayan's son. Brandon. You know, all these kids should be here right now, and they're not. Something needs to get done, and it needs to get done quick. And as painful as it is for us to talk about it, we're not going to stop. We're not going away. They're running for office. I tried to run for office, but I waited too long, so I didn't meet the deadline. But rest assured, I'm going to try my very best to get into office, because we need things to get done.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Next is Marianne Mendoza.
Thank you so much, Governor, for having us. We appreciate the opportunity to be here. More Americans are killed every year in this country than those that were killed on 9/11. As tragic as 9/11 was, when you think about the magnitude of people, it happens annually, and nobody blinks an eye at it. More people, more Americans have actually been killed on our home soil by illegal criminals on our home soil since 9/11 than those killed in the Vietnam War. We have illegals, you know, they're pouring into our country, they're unvetted. Title 42 is being misused. The unaccompanied being trafficked across this border. Our children are collateral damage to a federal government who cares more about illegal rights than American citizens. And so it's time for states to step up and do what they are constitutionally authorized to do. Protect their states and their citizens when the federal government will not do it. We need to close our borders with Mexico, close the superhighway of human smuggling, drug smuggling, and stop the enabling of illegal criminals from coming into our country and creating more angel family members. We don't want any more members of our organization. Our children, Brandon Mendoza, Brandon Michael, and Harvey Vega, deserve to live out their American dreams, not to give them up for an illegal who dreams of coming to America unvetted and crossing our border illegally. There's a right way to do this, and I am proud of the fact that Governor Abbott is standing up and taking the control that the state has in its power to close our borders and make a difference. And I want to thank every one of you law enforcement agents who are here. Thank you for your dedication. Thank you for what you do for Texas, for our country, for its citizens, and thank you for having us here.
Thank you very much. Next we have Kian and Bobby Michael.
Hi, Governor Abbott. Thank you so much for having us. My name is Kian Michael.
Kian, sorry. I said Kian.
Oh, that's okay. It's close enough. Greetings to everyone from Florida, from the great state of Florida. Our 21-year-old son, Brandon Randolph Michael, and there's a picture of him over across the other side of the room, was on his lunch break going to cash his paycheck and was killed. He was hit and killed by a twice deported illegal. And that means that twice he decided to break our laws and come back into our country. And the third time, he killed our son. He took his life. Brandon was engaged to be married. This is my husband, Bobby. He's our middle child. Never had an opportunity to have children of his own. We thought we were going to be planning his wedding, and we ended up planning a funeral. Brandon loved Dallas Cowboys, and it's amazing that I'm now here in Texas because his whole room was just, it was Dallas Cowboy stars everywhere. And so it's an honor, and it means something special to be here to help, to speak out, and thank you for what you're doing. Brandon he told me just a few weeks prior, he told me that he wanted his life to mean something, to have meaning. And I told him, your life will always have meaning, and never thinking that we would be the ones to have to carry on his legacy, and we would be the ones to have to fight for justice for Brandon, because the illegal that killed Brandon, after he hit and killed him, got out of his car, watched him die, and he did nothing to get him any help. And we had to go to court. It forced the state of Florida to prove that he was behind the wheel. And after a lengthy trial, and it was horrific to have to go through this after the shock of losing a child. No parent should have to bury their children. He was only given 2 years, which is what we see consistently in angel families. This is like the constant thing that happens, is that there is a lack of justice. There is a lack of being held accountable. And that we know as Americans, if we break the law, we know that we will be held accountable. There is no sanctuary state or city for us to go to. We have been speaking out and working with our governor in Florida to help push laws to so that other parents don't go through this, such as the 287G program, such as the ban on sanctuary cities, not knowing that we would have a president that ignores the Constitution, will not uphold the Constitution. And yes, we're angry about that because as Americans, we should be safe in our own nation. We should be safe in our own cities. Your children deserve to be safe. When these wonderful officers go home and you leave home to put on that uniform and come and keep us safe, you expect to go home, and we want you all to be able to go home to your families. And under the current administration, he is violating our Constitution, he's violating our federal laws, and so now we all become statesmen. We all have to stand up, and we all have to rise up and say this is enough, and we will not stand for this to continue on. And I thank you, Governor Abbott, for what you're doing. It will not bring our children back. Harvey will never come back to us. Your Brandon will never come back to us. Our Brandon will never come back. But if this will prevent another family, and unfortunately we're enlarging. In the state of Florida, not long ago, we had someone from Honduras, an illegal from Honduras, who claimed to be an unaccompanied minor. And he killed someone in our city that I'm from, in Jacksonville. He stabbed him to death, and it turns out he was 24 years old. We just had another young man that was killed maybe a couple of months ago, and he was in his 20s by an illegal in a car wreck. It goes on and on and on, and it's happening entirely too much. We know the fentanyl that's coming through the borders is now one of the highest, if not the highest, killer among 18 to 24-year-olds. And it's not overdosing, it is poison, as Virginia said not long ago. And so we thank you for what you're doing. We know what's happening in Jacksonville. We know how it is impacting Florida, because it's not just impacting here in Texas, because you can only do so much with the borders being open. But without stopping them at the border, or being able to stop them at the border, because the Biden administration is not doing anything to help you, Governor Abbott, it's affecting every state. Every state has become a border state. Mm-hmm. And that's the reality. And we have to come together, and we have to know that it is time for us to do as much as we can. I know Marianne and I are running for office in our own states because we've got laws that we have to pass. And thank you for having us, and I will pass it on.
Thank you, Governor Abbott, for this opportunity to speak briefly. My wife pretty much said it all. I just wanted to say, after spending 20 years in the United States Navy, I feel that our federal government let us down. Our borders are wide open, and it's a responsibility of our sitting president to make sure that citizens of the United States of America are safe. So thank you for what you're doing, and I'm just praying that all 50 states, the governors that's responsible of each state, come together and work to try to get this resolved. Thank you.
Thank all of you. Also, thank you for the ideas that you shared earlier about future action that can be taken. It's ideas like yours that will lead to even more changes to make sure that we avoid something that should never happen. There are lives lost because of open border policies. We share a common conviction to make sure that we will do everything possible to close those borders, to secure those borders, to make sure other lives will not be lost. We'll take a few questions.
Governor, I'm sure you've seen some of the surveys. There was one by the Cato Institute that found that the criminal conviction rate of people here in Texas illegally was, they said, 45% below that of native-born Americans. Just wanted to find out a bit more about why you wanted to focus on this particular group, this particular issue today. So
you said that the criminal conviction rate of those who are here illegally is 45% less than current residents. Well, that's bizarre. That's not right. But I will tell you this. Yeah, I mean, the conviction rate obviously needs to go up. Now, importantly, I'd be curious where it shows those jurisdictions are, because we have a challenge in Texas right now. In Harris County, we have judges who declare themselves to be Democrat socialists who are not holding criminals accountable. In some counties in the state of Texas, we have district attorneys who are not holding criminals accountable. And it may be those jurisdictions that are leading to those results, and we want to take action to make sure whether you're a judge or whether you're a prosecutor, you're going to be held accountable if you are not prosecuting people who should be prosecuted, especially if they are let back out on the street and harm somebody else.
Just wonder, do you have any statistical data you can share with us about how many illegal aliens has been charged with criminal offenses?
So I have the numbers that are the numbers for Texas since we began Operation Lone Star last March. Since we began Operation Lone Star, we've made 11,000 criminal arrests, and with 9,000 being felony charges. Some others are people who may be convicted for criminal trespass are in those jails that we created in South Texas.
One more question. Governor, off topic, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick said that during the upcoming session, one of his priorities will be eliminating tenure at all public universities in Texas. What do you think of that?
Well, I don't know if he talked about eliminating tenure. I think what he was talking about was critical race theory. Is that right? Or
They'll
yeah.
change tenure reviews from every 6 years to annually, and will define teaching critical race theory in statute as a cause for a tenured professor to be.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I need to take a look at it. Thanks.
Thank you.